What's going on, everybody? Howard Bender here, Fantasy Alarm, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. We're live at the NFL Draft here down in beautiful, sweltering hot Nashville. This is ridiculous. These lights are killing me. I'm sweating. I'm hoping this is going to be a nice little weight loss program for me here, just in the sauna that is Tennessee. I just kind of wanted to go through some stuff with you guys here and get your opinions. So tweet us at SiriusXM Fantasy. You can tweet us at Fantasy Alarm. You can tweet me at RotoBuzzGuy. We're talking about the NFL Draft here. Surprises, highs, lows for you. Again, Kyler Murray, we expected. Nick Bosa, we expected. Jets taking Quinnen Williams, it's best player available there. We thought maybe the Jets would trade down. They obviously did not choose to do that. Love it or hate it, I don't mind it. Mike Dempsey, who's also, from Football Diehards, he's also a big Jets fan. He doesn't seem to like it that much. He thinks that the Jets should build up a little bit more. I don't see the harm in taking an impact player, somebody who could make at least some sort of a difference, at least for right now. Clelin Ferrell, that's the big one. That's the one that everybody's looking at and saying, I don't know about this one here. Clemson defensive lineman. That's the point that everybody's sitting there thinking about right now. Also, is that we've seen now 3 Clemson defensive linemen come off the board, and what a testament that is to Clemson, the team that they have, and really when you look at the team that's on the field right now, or at least going into next season, super young, super talented here. So you got to give them credit. Did the Raiders reach? Yeah, they did. But for the same token, they didn't trade away everything so that they can move up for number 1 and get Kyler Murray. The big talk that everybody's having right now is, where's Josh Rosen going to go? And maybe the Raiders have a plan there. Maybe they're in on that one. There are a number of teams now that we're looking at where Josh Rosen, it could be a very viable option for them, whether it's about developing somebody like him for the future, or whether it's somebody that they can probably kind of squeeze in now or as soon as this year. We'll have to just wait and see. Buccaneers take Devin White at number 5. I think that was a legit move there. Obviously, no complaints. Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the Giants. Again, I personally don't mind this pick. I think a lot of people are really bugged about it, but when you do take into account the relationship that he does have with Eli Manning and the Manning family, I do think it does make some sense. Listen, I'm not going to knock the guy's skill set. I'm not going to turn around and say that he's garbage. It was an odd pick, but when you think about the fact that the Giants are still going to put their trust into Eli, and they want somebody who Eli's going to relate to, and who Eli isn't going to mind turning over the reins to at some point or another, I think it keeps a lot of harmony in the Giants camp. Pick number 7 went Josh Allen, edge rusher for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Take him. Smart pick. Very smart pick. Surprised that Allen fell that far, so it was good for the Jags to take him up. TJ Hawkinson, if you guys missed the conversation that I just had with Jeff Radcliffe from Pro Football Focus about Hawkinson, you should go and find that. It's right here on Facebook. It's on Twitter. He makes some very good points. Fantasy owners are going to need to stay away. Ed Oliver went to Buffalo there at number 9. Solid pick there. We were surprised to see him drop as far as he did. No arguments there. The Steelers trade up into the 10th pick with the Broncos. They end up giving up their 20th overall pick plus their 2nd round pick, and then there's, I believe, an exchange of 3rd round picks next year for that move. They get Devin Bush. Great move for them. They've needed a replacement for Ryan Shazier right there in the middle. They need somebody to lead this defense, and Devin Bush is definitely a kid with the size, the speed, and the intelligence to actually make that happen. So I like that move for them. Jonah Williams goes to the offensive lineman from Alabama. He goes over to the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, that's a move that needed to happen. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Bengals were going to take a quarterback and try and get an heir apparent to Andy Dalton, but I think that the offensive line move was definitely a smarter one for them. They need to get Joe Mixon running. They need to get Andy Dalton protected. I think they do have a lot of weapons there that they're going to be able to utilize, and I think that the offensive line has probably been their biggest shortcoming. So I'm good with that. Rashawn Gary goes to the Green Bay Packers. They needed another defensive lineman. They needed somebody who can not only help stuff the run, but who also does a great job of rushing that passer. So Gary, some people think it's a little bit early for him. It might be. I didn't see him too high up in a lot of the mocks that I had seen or that we had taken part of. Even Don Murtha's here over at Fantasy Alarm, which, by the way, I'm going through my draft here right now. If you guys do it, go to fantasyalarm.com. You can see full pick-by-pick analysis from Don Murtha right here on the site, and it's all happening instantaneously. You don't want to miss it. It's great stuff. I'm telling you. Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle from Clemson, he goes to the Miami Dolphins. Chris Lindstrom, the guard from Boston College, he goes to the Falcons at 14. Redskins take Dwayne Haskins. We knew that was happening, guys. You knew it was happening. Dan Snyder said he's taking over this draft. Haskins has been the guy that he was coveting the entire time. There was a lot of talk of even him trading up for Dwayne Haskins when it turned out that I guess he obviously learned that he didn't need to trade up. Obviously, he heard something maybe that the Giants were looking at Jones as opposed to Haskins. He stayed the course. He gets his guy at 15. Right or wrong, he gets his guy. I think it's wrong. What are you going to do? We're going to have to see what kind of weapons he gives them over there. Defensive end from Florida State, Brian Burns, he goes at the 16th pick. Good, solid move there. I like his skill set there. 6'5", 250. Good size for him. He's got nice speed. I think he's a guy who's been crawling up a lot of people's boards over the past 2 weeks here. So I think he comes out in a nice spot. Giants with the 17th overall pick, they take Dexter Lawrence from Clemson. Again, no big surprise. We talked about it here on one of the earlier streams. The Vikings, they take center Garrett Bradbury from NC State. I love this pick. I really do love this pick. One of the main things that the Vikings have needed to do is fix that offensive line. They've got a fantastic running back in Dalvin Cook. They've got Kirk Cousins, who needs the protection. They've got wideouts who can get open. They just need the time. They need the protection. And I think that adding somebody at the center position really solidifies it. I said it a couple of years ago when the Falcons ended up picking up Alex Mack in free agency. It was one of those moves that just really solidified the Falcons' offensive line, and I think it worked really well for them. Obviously, they went to the freaking Super Bowl, right? So this one here, Bradbury to the Vikings, I love this pick. It's probably one of my favorites, actually, for this first round so far. Mississippi State's Jeffrey Simmons, he goes to the Tennessee Titans, to the local boys here, to the local boys. He goes at 19. Defensive tackle there, Noah Fant, tight end from Iowa, the other tight end from Iowa. I don't like this pick at all. I said it when we were talking to Radcliffe. I'm not a fan of this. Noah Fant is a guy, he's going to have blocking issues also. It was one of the things that Jeff Radcliffe didn't say that I wanted to chime in on here also, is that is a problem for Fant. And it's going to be really interesting to see. The Broncos haven't been able to develop a tight end in quite some time. And yeah, like Jeff said, the Jake Butt dynasty owners, you're in trouble now. You're in definite trouble. Safety Darnell Savage goes to the Packers at 21. Another solid pick. First defensive back that we've seen on this draft. Still haven't seen a running back. Still haven't seen a wide receiver. But here at 21, we get our first defensive back in safety Darnell Savage. Obviously, without Ha-Ha Clinton-Dix out there, they're going to need somebody to patrol the middle of the field. I dig this one. I definitely do. Eagles at 22, they picked up. They made a deal here, but they got it from the Ravens. Whatever the case may be, Andre Dillard, offensive lineman out of Washington State. I love this pick too. Again, we talked about the fact that offensive linemen have kind of slipped in this draft a lot because of the depth, but you can't ignore the top talent. Why Jawan Taylor is still on the board kind of surprises me. Very curious. The Texans pick at 23. If the Texans don't take Jawan Taylor, then there's got to be something that everybody's finding out about him that is really going to be problematic for him the rest of the way. That's the move that's got to be made there. Texans definitely need offensive line help. It is their number one priority here. that's the rest of it right there. We're going to keep you guys posted. We're going to have more guests moving in and out here. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Fantasy Alarm Sirius XM Fantasy Sports live stream. I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch up with you in just a few minutes. Stick around.